Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40k Universe. I am your host Gershwan and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we're going to be talking about the Space Marines in the form of the Codex Astartes. So let's get into 40 facts about the Codex Astartes. The Codex Astartes is a great and sacred tome of military organization, strategy, and tactics written by Robert Guilliman, the Primarch of the Ultramarine Space Marine Legion, to prevent another civil war like the Horus Heresy. The Codex Astartes outlines Guilliman's ideals for the moral behavior, order of battle, and tactical doctrines of a Space Marine chapter. While not all Space Marine chapters in the Imperium adhere to the Codex's dictates with the same rigidness as the Ultramarines, most obey the spirit of the Codex, if not the actual letter. Space Marine chapter that generally follows the guidelines of the Codex Astartes is referred to as a Codex compliant chapter. This text became a major part of Guilliman's legacy and the cornerstone upon which the future of the Adeptus Astartes would be based off of. No complete copies of this original text is known to exist, although the majority of its tomes have survived and is available to all Space Marines if not committed to memory. Guilliman single-handedly reorganized not only the Adeptus Astartes, but the whole Imperium's fighting force, the Imperial Guard, the Imperial Navy, and the Space Marines. Though the tome covers a variety of topics, the most lasting decree of the Codex Astartes was that the existing Space Marine legions be broken up and reorganized into smaller organizations known as chapters. These new chapters became known as successor chapters, and the event that created them is known as the Second Founding. To learn more about the Second Founding, please check out the 40 facts about the Second Founding. The initial inspiration for Guilliman's Codex Astartes came from Sergeant Ioned Thiel, a veteran of the Underworld Wars, who was present on Calth during the war against the treacherous Word-Bearers. In the aftermath of the initial assault, he founded small independent task force squads called the Red Marked, which were made up of surviving Ultramarines. The Red Marked were responsible for rooting out and eliminating the forces of the renegade warbands that were hiding on the ruined worlds of the Ultramar space. During the important meeting between the Ultramarines Primarch and Sergeant on one of McCragg's space stations, Guilliman tore apart the documents of his old doctrines in front of the Sergeant and made his message clear. From now on, the Ultramarines shall not be a horde under a warlord that follows him, but 100 of thousands of individual legionnaires, each in support of one another. Thus was the vision of the Codex Astartes. The first objective of Robert Guilliman in writing the Codex Astartes was to both recognize and purge all genetic weaknesses of mutations exposed during the Horus Heresy. As a result, the Codex Astartes decreed that the Space Marines would forevermore be created and trained slowly. To get information as to why, please check out our Horus Heresy 40 Facts series. Cultivated organs would be subject to the most strict tests of purity. Young initiates would undergo trials of sustainability before they were accepted, and only those of very stern character would be chosen. To learn more about how a Space Marine is chosen, please check out our 40 facts on the Space Marine initiation. As a fine safeguard, Guilliman tasked the Adeptus Terra on Earth with setting up and maintaining genetic banks to produce and store genetic Space Marine gene seed. By taking direct control of these genetic donations, the Adeptus Terra would ultimately control the Space Marines. They alone had and have the power to destroy or create Space Marine armies at will. The Codex also explained the different battlefield roles assigned to each squad of Space Marines in a chapter, defining them as tactical, assault, or devastator squads, and assigning different equipment and purpose to each. The Codex Astartes states that a Space Marine chapter should be split into 10 companies of 100 Space Marines each, plus a Space Marine captain, apothecary, company standard, and chaplain for each company. Existing outside the company level organization, each chapter has an armory consisting of chapter tech marines, main battle tanks, and other armored vehicles. Outside the company level organization, each chapter has a librarium consisting of the chapter's librarians, a chapter fleet, and the chapter master, plus various headquarters staff, and the chapter servitors and human chapter serfs. The first company of a chapter consists of veteran squads and Terminator squads. Support for the first company consists of Land Raiders and Venerable Dreadnoughts. Only the first company may use the holy suits of Terminator armor. The second, third, fourth, and fifth companies of a chapter are known as battle companies, and they all have the same tactical organization. Each battle company is split into 6 tactical squads, 2 assault squads, 2 devastator squads, comprising of 10 space marines each. Some companies also make use of command squads comprising solely of veterans to protect their officers or other specialists like apothecaries and chaplains. The assault squads can instead be deployed on bike squadrons or land speeders. Battle companies often use Rhino and Razorback dedicated transports and commonly deploy dreadnoughts for heavy fire support. The 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th companies of a chapter are its reserve companies. The 6th and 7th are comprised entirely of tactical squads, the 8th of assault squads, and the 9th of devastator squads. Like the battle companies, the reserve companies also make extensive use of Rhino and Razorback transports, though dreadnoughts are usually only found in the 9th company. The 6th company can be entirely deployed on a Space Marine assault bikes, and the 7th on land speeders. The 8th company can use either Space Marine bikes or land speeders. These forces are held in reserve to be deployed at the discretion of force commanders as tactical situations evolve, often to bolster weak points or aid in breaking through enemy lines at specific locations. The 10th company consists entirely of scout squads and is often 100 strong, as recruitment does not provide a steady flow of neophytes to many chapters. The 10th company is the most lightly armed and is most often used as reconnaissance or as a guerrilla force. Scout Marines are sometimes mounted on Space Marine bikes, but do not use Rhinos or Razorback transports. The Codex Astartes contains detailed sections pertaining to the heraldry of the Space Marine chapters. These dictate that a Space Marine should display his chapter symbol upon his armor's left shoulder guard, while its right shoulder guard should show its squad marking. The Codex also states that a Space Marine should incorporate its company's heraldry color into its armor, displaying it on the trim of his shoulder guard. The Codex suggests a number of variations on this basic system, and even advises that each chapter periodically revise its markings to confuse the foe. This has led to a variety of differences between the many Codex chapters, and to some having varied their appearance over the millennia. Each company has a unique color that its members wear, commonly on its power armor shoulder plate trim. But some chapters use chest eagles, bolter cases, knee pads, helmets, or other parts of the Space Marine's power armor. The first company usually always wears white or silver. Members of the first company should also paint their helmets the company color. Second company usually wears yellow or gold, third company red, fourth company green, fifth company black, sixth company orange, seventh company purple, eighth company gray, ninth company blue, or 10th company usually wears white. However, the company color is not displayed on the members' armor because they are scouts. The Adeptus Terra has never decreed it necessary to enforce the Codex absolutely. Indeed, it is doubtful whether it even could. Subsequent foundings have always favored the Ultramarines' gene seed and created many new Codex chapters from their line. The Ultramarines, Genesis chapter, Red Scorpions, Praetors of Orpheus, Black Consuls, Nova Marines, and Hammers of Dorn are strong examples of these venerable Codex-compliant chapters. And those were 40 facts about the Codex Astartes. Now, if you have not checked out our video on the second founding, please subscribe to the channel and go check that out. Now, we post new Warhammer 40k videos every single day, so subscribe for that. Thank you for all you already subscribed. And of course, thank you for liking, commenting, and sharing with your friends. This was Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.